truly mean it. Because clearly, today is a very, very busy day. You could have been anywhere. You could have been in your homes, but you decided to head to our clarion call to speak about our football. The sport we love so much. The sport that feeds all of us. Again, with a massive break. It's been 2 years since all of you gave us the opportunity to serve the Ghanaian game. From the very onset, we knew it was a very, very challenging opportunity. But we also knew that we had the blessings of millions of Ghanaians to be able to deliver our struggling football industry to the promised land. We also knew that the pathway we have chosen will not be so smooth at all times. We also knew there will be joyous moments, but we also knew that there could be turbulence along the way. But because of your undiluted support that you showed to us right from the word go, we were of the absolute opinion that regardless of the turbulence, the men here will always support me. You will always support my leadership to be able to deliver Ghanaian football to the promised land. It must be real. We started with a promise to bring back the love, to ignite passion, and to create wealth for everybody. And to do that, we needed to set or to get our fundamentals right. To do that, we needed to have an effective and an efficient administrative setup, not only in Accra at headquarters, but also in the various 10 football regions that manage football and beyond. Over the last 2 years, we have ensured that we have hired some of the topmost personnel to be part of the establishment, including the setting up of some very, very new departments. Just to mention a few, for the first time in the Ghanaian history, especially with football, we have a marketing department. For the first time, we have a competitions department. For the first time, we have a national teams department. We have an integrity officer. For the first time, we have a fully fledged finance department. For the first time, we have a marketing department which your football association has never had. So you can see clearly, for the first time, we have an HR department responsible for all the HR needs of your own football association. For the first time, we have a fully manned technical directorate. So in the time past, we've always had one man, Mr. Otia Kenten, being the technical director and wholly responsible for a department we call the technical directorate. Obviously, that was not enough. Now we have a fully fledged technical directorate responsible for all the developmental needs and strategies of your own football association. So you can see clearly that when we set out to fix the fundamentals, we really meant it. All the key ingredients to make sure that football administration is what it's supposed to be is now in place. If you came through the main door at the football association, you will feel, say, what a football fee. So, after today, come to Accra, visit your own headquarters of football, and have a feel. This is what we promised. And this is what we have delivered. Right from the word go, we knew that we had to bring back the sport that fits all of us. We had to bring competition back. Mr. give me your ears, no talking. So even in difficult times, we brought football back. The Premier League is back in full swing. We are all enjoying. The Division 1 League is back. The Women's Premier League is back in a super fantastic way. All the regional leagues have been honored, and we are getting into a new season. Juvenile football, coach football, is back in a way that we have never seen. Now when you are home, you're watching the KTL U17 Champions League on your screens. You are witnesses to new super talents being developed. At the national team level, our U20 are proud winners of the African Championship. Dr. Radiabe is the chairman. Can we clap for him? Prior to that victory, it's been 9 odd years since we won the U20 tournament on the African continent. I mean, you would agree with me that in the years that Ghana was dominant at the U17 level, at the U20 level, the U23 level, our Black Stars were super dominant in Africa and beyond. Let's take our minds back into time. From 1999 to 201 U20 to 203, and on. Then we went to Germany for the World Cup. 209 U20 champions of the world. In 209, in 2010, we're in the finals of the AFCON. We're in the quarterfinals, almost in the semi-finals of the World Cup. Those were the dominant years of Ghanaian football. Those were the years our youth football was at the top. So if currently we are the champions on the African continent, we should be proud. Currently, we've qualified to the AFCON. People think that it's a given, but it's come through hard work. And soon, we shall be in Cameroon to try to rewrite history. It's been 40 odd years since Ghana won the AFCON. But I believe that we have a group of super dedicated players who want to write their names in history and who will fight for glory and honor for Ghana at the AFCON. Beyond that, they said we're schoolboys. They said we're 1 year old in office. But we won that all-important battle against the Republic of South Africa. And we are now in the last leg for possible qualification to the Mondial in Qatar. There's been other projects that we started, which is still ongoing, including, but not limited to, the construction of boreholes for clubs in the Premier League, the Division 1 League, and in the Women's Premier League. The provision of footballs for football clubs in the Premier League, in the Division 1 League, and in the Women's Premier League as we speak. We also provide footballs for regional football development. The Football Association invested $100,000 in the purchase of 6,000 footballs last year. And we will repeat same strategy this year. And again, next year, we will again invest $100,000 to purchase footballs for cold, second division, and third division football in this country. We know that the journey ahead of us is a long one. We know that it could be very challenging sometimes. But we also know that we can draw strength from the support all of you. And most importantly, people in the football ecosystem have and continue to offer this leadership of our sport. Yes, once in a while you hear dissenting voices, but believe me, it is very normal. And this is what I love. Because that is the only way we can grow our football. But it's also true that the football family is one. There must always be one. We cannot have two football families, and that will not happen under my leadership. Like I said, we would have challenges. It's like the path of an aircraft. When the aircraft taxis and takes off, you expect it to be smooth. But there are times that it goes through turbulence. Sometimes you are notified by the flight attendants. Sometimes it does come by surprise. But at the end, you cruise and land safely. So we are in this sport together. Our desired vision is to ensure that we have a united football ecosystem. Our desired vision is to ignite passion and to create wealth. Our vision is to bring back the love for the sport. And you would agree with me that gradually the love is coming. But it's important that we continue to get all of you to be behind the pilot who is flying all of us to the promised land. I would always say that we can differ on how you think we should arrive in Malaysia, whether to go by the left route or the right route. But at the end, all of us want to arrive at Malaysia. And this is what must keep all of us together. You want to win. I want to win. Your strategy to win may differ from my strategy to win. But at the end, we all want to be winners. All of us want to be winners. And this is what must keep this family together. We don't have different ambitions. Our vision is the same. You want to be a nice boy, but the way you want to dress may be different from the way I want you to dress. It doesn't mean I do not want you to be a nice boy. That's the truth. It doesn't also mean that when I decide to dress differently, you should think I am wrong. It doesn't also mean when you dress differently, I should think you are wrong. It doesn't also mean that when I decide to dress different from the way you should dress, you should insult me. It's also not okay. But at the end, all of us have one vision. To push the Ghanaian sport called football to the levels that we all desire. It will not take my singular effort. It will not take his singular effort or her singular effort. It will take our collective effort of believing in the way, staying in the way, and ensuring that we protect the sport that fits all of us. Rome, they said, or they say, was not built in a day. But when the fundamentals are strong, like we are seeing currently, there's always hope for our tomorrow.
Yes.
That's why it's always important that for our tomorrow, we should give off our best today. You see there, that's why it's important that for our collective tomorrow, we should all sacrifice our day, our today. So, today is not really a day for me to talk and talk and talk and talk. It's a day for my colleagues in the media to speak to us, to ask us questions. Maybe there are things that you don't understand, Or perhaps, oh Joe, give me your attention. There are things that we may not have explained to you properly. Or perhaps there are things that you want further and better particulars. We are here. Majority of us here are skilled enough to be able to explain the way and or how we want to navigate the Ghanaian football to the promised land. We are here. I'm super happy again that all of you have come through. The sport is for all of us. And it's our collective responsibility to push the brand to the levels that will enable corporate Ghana to have the belief in our brand and to invest in our football. Selling the Ghanaian football will take your effort and my effort to make it attractive, not only to government, but to the private sector. The time is now. The time is now for you to be responsible for the agenda to market our own game. The time is now for Wo, they say Wo, Sasu, and the rest to also stand up and sell our football. Our colleagues in the multimedia will say that what do they say? What's the right slogan? Something to without advertising. It's like living in the dark. Isn't it? Doing business without advertising is like what? Living in the dark. You know what you're doing, but nobody else does. The time now is for all of us to say, once upon a time in our lives, we love our football. Our football can be challenged, but we are the same people who can fix it. You don't need any other person to fix it. And to fix it, you need to play a part. I need to play a part. He needs to play a part, and she needs to play a part. The time is now. Thank you very much for coming. I'm most grateful. And beyond here, we'll be ready to speak to all issues that may be lingering on in your minds, to ensure that all of us will live here in a way and manner that encourage all of us to come here. With a massive praise.
Let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again. This is our own. Let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again. I'll get to say yeah. Get to say yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's now time for your questions. It's now time for your questions. You raise your hand, you mention your name, tell us your media house, and then you ask your question. Let's be brief, please. Okay.
Mr. President. My name is Brian James, who I work for Fox Secret. Mr. President, your statement, you reiterated the fact or the need for a one football family. Has the opposite views or opposition of facing hindering the progress of your administration? And also, I'm someone who believes in self-assessment. And I don't know whether you believe in that too. But if you do, how will you rate your administration 2 years into government? Thank you.
Maybe 2 more. Please, we have the chairman of the Black Stars Management Committee, we have the chairman of the Black Satellites Management Committee, and we have other committee chairmen here as well, and the executive council members. So we would like to open up if you have questions concerning national teams or Division 1 League or the Premier League whatsoever. Next question. Okay, Stevens.
Thank you very much. Mr. Lamaku is here, so obviously my question will be directed to him. We know how important it is for us in our quest to end our almost 40 years trophy club for the Black Stars. So going into this tournament next year in Cameroon is very important. Ghanaians are eager, especially someone like me who have not seen the Black Stars winning the trophy before. Mr. Macon, we know for a fact that you've been chasing a couple of players and Ghanaian-born European players to the Black Stars team. Hosnoda recently was in Ghana for holidays. He met the FA president, the sports minister, and I know talks were here. I would want to find out how far have you gone with getting players like Hosnoda, Tariq Lante, Salifu to play for the Black Stars in the coming tournament in Cameroon, and if possibly for the playoff of the World Cup.
Okay. Thank you. Please.
My name is Mickey Anglo, Sika FM. My question is on the Ghana Premier League. I've noticed that players who score brace or hat-trick find it difficult to get the match day ball. Zubairu of GFA, since scoring against me, yet to get the ball. I want to know the reason why it's being delayed in the Ghana Premier League. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so the first 3, President will respond. Mr. Makutu will speak to the Absolutely question. And I will attempt to answer your question about the match day ball.
Okay, so the first one is whether opposing views in that. Is that correct? Yeah. Is that correct? I think I spoke to this in my submission. And let me just repeat what I said. I am glad to hear other minds. Other minds is always an important mind if you want to be a very good leader. For which reason, I would always want to hear other minds. So, people who speak their mind will not be considered as people who are hindering the work that we do. I welcome other minds, and I'll continue to work with people who have other minds. The second question has to do with my thoughts about my administration in 2 years. I think that we volunteered to serve Ghana football. I do not enjoy rating the hard work my good self and my 12 ESCO members and all the subcommittees of the Football Association put into our work. Most importantly, is for our membership to look at how hard we are working. If they are happy, I am very happy. And I know that our membership are very, very happy with the work we've done so far for the Ghanaian game. Now, there was another question relating to scouting and introduction of new players into our senior national team. Indeed, When we started work in 2019, we formed, or let me say, we started a journey to offer opportunities to players of Ghanaian descent anywhere in the world. And I've always used my son as an example. In my son, who was born in England, is a super fantastic footballer. Would we deny him the chance to play for Ghana because he was not born in Ghana? The answer is no. The Black Stars is for Ghanaians. And Ghanaians live everywhere in the world. For which reason, we want to provide a platform for every super talent who fits the thoughts of our various coaches to represent our country year in, year out. And that includes some of the names that you mentioned. Indeed, we've been engaging some of the names that you've mentioned. The process is ongoing, and if it is that we are through with any of them, I am sure that your football association will make it public. Playing for our national team does not start and stop with the AFCON. Beyond the AFCON, there is the World Cup qualification games. Beyond that, there's AFCON qualification games for 2023, etc., etc. So our ambition is to build national teams that are very competitive and that will win medals or trophies for our dear country. And players who are willing and who love their country will be given the opportunity to show their love to their country. Football, I'm quite surprised. I'll pick that up with the competitions department. Okay, if it is that, sorry, he was given the ball. Okay. But if there are any, the chairman of the team says that the boy has received the balls. The chairman of the team says they have received the balls. If it is that some players have not received balls because they have scored a hat-trick, I'm sorry. Would you want to listen to the explanation? Okay. I have said here that if, let me grant what he asked. Let's admit what he asked is true. I have said here that I will engage the competition department, and if it is that there's a challenge, they'll fix it. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, next round of questions is because of movement and the fact that we want to know who is asking the question, I would please pray your indulgence if you can speak up so that we could hear you from wherever you are. Okay. Yes. Your voice is not audible enough unless you come.
All right. Thank you, President. And before I go on my question, I have to commend you.
The noise at the back.
I have to commend you about the rare work that you've done so far. I think that you've done incredibly well. And just as you said, with our support, a lot can be done. Now, my first question has to do with headline sponsorship.
You didn't tell us your name.
Oh, okay, please. My name is Sasu Dampa and I work with Opimswe Radio. Now, you made mention of laying strong foundation for our football. So when are we, or how soon should we expect headline sponsor for our local league? That is my first question. And the second one has to do with the AFCON, the trophy drought. What are some of the things that you have identified hindering our progress or making it possible for the Black Stars to win? And what are some of the things that you are doing to resolve so that next year, God willing, we will be able to win it? And three, there is this preoccupation in the minds of the rank and file of Asante Protocol that the GFA has something against the club, and I think that this is an opportunity for you to clear those thoughts from the fans of Asante Kotoko. So is it true, and if it is not true, what should they do, or what should you do about it? Thank you. And please, my last one has to do with the Black Stars proper, the locals. We've heard of player exodus hindering the complexion of our league. So can there be a quota for the locals who play in our league, so that it will serve as a motivation for the local players playing our league, if it is possible?
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me try to answer the last one first. The Black Stars, I'm going to use the Black Stars because you cited the Black Stars. The Black Stars is a brand just like any of our national teams. And they have similar responsibility or job, somebody would say, to win games. Okay? And in doing this, you want to present the best players as possible. If we have 11 best players, and those best players are the players that the coaches like, they will represent the Black Stars. Okay? I don't believe in this idea of giving a quota to local players. But I would always encourage local players to work well and to fight for placings in the Black Stars, most especially. And currently, there are, I think, minimum 4 or 5 call-ups for Black Star, for local players, each and every time when the Black Stars assemble. It's very, very positive. And we should be excited and happy that for the first time, your football association has organized a league which is super competitive, and I'm talking about Division 1. Super competitive, and that league has produced a super talent that is currently the best U20 player in Africa and currently playing for our Black Stars. I don't remember the last time this happened in Ghana. But we discovered him because we organized a very competitive Division 1 league. The scouts did their good job. He was identified, given opportunity at the U17, U20, and now he's with the senior most national team. This is a big plus for our domestic league. Very, very big one. The next question, whether Kertu Kraku hates Krobia Kumasi Asante. I feel very sad when people discuss this subject matter, because people who are deeply involved in Kotoko on personal lines know what I have done for this club before. When I was not the FA president, when I became the FA president through your own support, Krobia Kumasi Asante was the first club I visited. Is that not true? Kotoko is a powerhouse in Ghanaian football. And any FA president who would want to forget this will never have a successful reign. Of course, there are 16, 17, 18, 19 other Premier League clubs. There are other 48 Division 1 clubs. There are 20 women Premier League clubs. But Krobia Asante comes with a rich history, owned by the big king. Nobody can show disrespect to a brand like this. The FA has been very supportive of Kotoko in their African Cup campaign and beyond. So, the Football Association or my good self do not hate and cannot hate any football club, let alone Krobia Kumasi Asante. But the truth must be told that all football clubs, all members of the Football Association must behave within the regulations that all of us have put together. And if it is that you are Dreams FC, you are Kotoko, you are Hasselful, you are Fankoba, you go over the red line, you'll be brought back into the green line. This is normal. The FA will support every club in this country. We will support Krobia Santi Kotoko when they engage us. But the FA is the mother body. And if it is that we want our sport to be as strong as we all desire, it's important we keep the family together. And we will support Kotoko and all clubs within the football ecosystem to grow, so that the Ghanaian game will be stronger than where we took it. The next one. Plans to win the AFCON. Of course, we all know that it's been 40 odd years since we won the AFCON. I've not been part of the previous generations of management who took care of our campaigns. I can only speak about what we are doing. And I can tell you that first of all, we have a committed and dedicated squad. We have a very, very hard-working technical team. We are getting good support from the Honorable Minister and the Government of the Republic. The Executive Council is putting in all the good plans that will ensure that we are competitive on the African continent and beyond. It's our singular desire that we win the AFCON. That's why I've asked that all of you here should join us in this battle to make our brand interesting, to give confidence to the players, to support the players when they are troubled or they are challenged, or when they are in difficult times, to ensure that we are strong at all times, positive atmosphere around the team, so we can win games. This is important. It's also your part to play. Okay, so you spoke about headline sponsor. Okay, so sports marketing, and I hope that everybody will listen to me. Sports marketing is a dynamic subject. Football marketing is a dynamic subject. And it's important that sports marketers or football marketers face the realities of the day at all times. Now we are here, and your question line has to do with headline sponsor. But the truth of the matter is that when we speak about the product called the GPL or the WPL or DOL, we are not only talking about headline sponsor, we are talking about sponsors. Even if I have to just narrow it down to your question of headline sponsor, the value of the GPL is pegged at $3 million US for the title sponsor. And you, as a marketer, you go into the market looking for company A or one company to dole out $3 million US for the headline sponsor category. You can come from Jupiter to Timbuktu for 5 million years, you don't have that company A to give you $3 million. But when you are dynamic as the subject matter itself, you will soon realize that, oh, you're looking for 3 million, let me divide it into 5. And look for 5 companies who will give me 3 million in total. At the end, you have achieved your end goal of looking for 3 million. You may not have had what you call a headline sponsor, but you will have sponsors who believe in the brand, who will invest. And this is the reality of the sports or football ecosystem or football economy that we currently have. The Ghanaian companies, obviously, have gone through turbulence, COVID inclusive. So finding 3 million is difficult. So what we have tried to do is to slash that cake into smaller ones and look for companies who will be supportive of the agenda. That's why it's important for us to respect the companies who are currently investing in our football. The EPL in England do not have a headline sponsor. It's not a big topic. But for us in Ghana, once we don't name anybody as a headline sponsor, it means you've done no work. But companies are investing, and it's the reason why our league is ongoing. It's the reason why we've been supportive of our clubs, Women's Premier League, up to the KGL U17 the Club Champions League. KGL are investing $1 million US. KGL are investing $1 million US in our Black Stars. We've not named them as a headline sponsor of the Black Stars. Is that not true? So, I understand when marketers speak about headline sponsor, but headline sponsor is somebody's creation. At the end, you're looking for sponsors for your product, whether it's the GPL, WPL, DOL, juvenile football, etc., etc., beach soccer, futsal, etc., etc. Currently, we have sponsors who will be supportive, and we continue to be aggressive in the market, looking for more partners to support the domestic game. Thank you.
Who has my microphone, please? Okay, I think let me shift the focus to the left. We've had a number of questions from the right. So the gentleman in the suit. Good afternoon. My name is Obere. Mr. President, I'll answer some questions which was my invitation first question here. Time I was speaking, and I would say committees being a department of our form. We made mention of the marketing department. First question here is, so far, we share the game changer manifesto now. Time now we draw Ghana football today. Which we say Ghana football on a crossroad. Now there was lack of investment. Marketing department in Bahrain, can you say after 2 years sufficient investment at Ghana football? That's question number one. Still under that portion, I made mention of the integrity department. Last season league, you see as good and Interlice, you say, and Zimbabwe. I think Daily Mail tagging as bizarre, which is not a bad, which is a bad word. I think say the image of Ghana football and mania type. Integrity department in a buy, so far almost no polishing Ghana of Kakra. Now one can saw in one interview can say more frefre say pese Google Monsem was good in some Munti. But I grab about 4 months later, the BNC as good is still playing the league. And nothing has happened. The integrity of Ghana football, the image of Ghana football under your administration, is it going up or is it coming down? With regards to the various scandals at Akoso. Third question, who share Ghana police? Now in your manifesto, Mr. Omi said you will create a unit, a football policing unit. Still was not the way I the other about, but football policing unit. You say 11 wonders player and a team, let's say a technical team member were arrested. Looking at hooliganism, which has been a cancer in our football, the Division 1 league, what is the plan towards that? And is it that moving forward, they say, while we didn't see Mubiano, or Penny Cotton Pacho, Yembe Pacho, whether you are a fan or a club administrator or a journalist who could in some stadium now, there is a collaboration between the FA and the police too. deal with that matter to the latter. And that is one thing. And lastly, I will crave your indulgence for us to ask one question per station, please. One question. So, should I go around?
Okay, so I'll take this one, and I'm sure subsequently some of my colleagues will also pick up some of the questions. We are all capable to pick up your questions as much as we can. What's the first one? So I did say that unfortunately my tree is not too good, and you really want to understand me properly. So I'll miss a match. Okay. So the big kind say, they set up a fully functional marketing department. And if it is and then to me, and I say you go so airborne football matches. You to me organizing league games now. Now you go so air support your clubs now. It's because of the worker marketing department so if I have to list the names of companies who have invested in Ghana football since the marketing department was put in place, I'm sure you're surprised. If you want evidence, just watch or take your mind back to the last Black Stars game and look at the number of companies who advertised during the game. This is investment in Ghana football. Beyond that, we've had Malcolm, we've had Casaprecom, we've had Udin, we've had KGL investing $2 million US. We've had NASCO, TCL, we have Star Times. Sorry. Yes, it's quite endless. That tells you, say, the marketing department have been working. And if it is, say, to me, more investment in that particular department, I'm sure we'll have more revenue coming through. Okay, so marketing department set up is crucial for us. Very, very crucial. Okay, we should be sad about the work of the integrity officer. And we should like it to be reviewed.
That was how our daily meal classified as good day. Okay.
So I'll repeat what I have said. And I remember I stood in public and said, our football has been attacked by faceless cowards. And these faceless cowards will be brought to book. And we'll bring them to justice. And I'm repeating that again. Our football last season was attacked by faceless cowards. And it's our individual and collective responsibility to protect the sport that feeds all of us. And people who are found guilty will be brought to justice. You can quote it. Investigating match fixing, it's taking time. You can follow it everywhere in the world. Everywhere. It's taking time. But that does not mean, say, repeating me home, that does not mean, say, we are brushing or we are putting the issue under the carpet. The integrity officer, working closely with the prosecutors, have leveled charges against some of the people who are involved, and they are currently going through the motions at the disciplinary committee level. All the players who were named in that instant case appeared before the committee last Monday. All the officials that were involved would also appear next Friday. So you can see clearly, so it's not about somebody shielding or protecting anybody. The process is ongoing, and it's important. The fact say process air possible doesn't mean say Ghana football must come to a standstill. No, because you don't know when the educating process will end. That's why it's important to say the programs no ever possible. In the other developed countries, in other jurisdictions, Omega cases say, but they don't stop their football. And say, yeah, train, they may take it 3 years, or 4 years, or 5 years. So, as a case, maybe answer about football. No. This is not how brands are built. This is not how brands are built. Cases will always go independent of the brands. And it's our firm commitment to weed the corporates out of their hiding places.